Come on in, guys. Welcome to Idled Out, where we talk all things Survivor. My name is Luke, and today we're talking about the most cold-blooded moves in Survivor history. Part 2 or Part 1, depending on how you look at it. Last week, I published a video with this theme, but the discussion it sparked made me realize that 5 cold-blooded boots simply wasn't enough in a game with a 20-year history of chilling, ice-cold blindsides. So today, I want to count down 5 more of the most brutal votes in Survivor history, which will essentially be parts 10 through 6. I mean, what's more fun on Survivor than watching people's hopes and dreams get crushed in particularly brutal fashion? Other than Keith driving the tuk-tuk, of course. Ooh, look at him go.
You call, we'll haul. Just call me up, I'll come get you.
That all said, let's count down 5 more of Survivor's most cold-blooded boots and blindsides. So if you've already seen the original video, this is 5 more. And if you haven't seen the original video, you should go watch it right after this one. The 10th most brutal vote in Survivor history is Trishs Vote Out in Survivor Cagayan, stabbed in the back by future Survivor King Tony. From day 1 on Brawny Beach, Tony and Trish were on the outs and quickly became thick as thieves. And Trish spent essentially her entire game thanklessly mopping up after Tony's mile-a-minute gameplay, putting out fires Tony started, rebuilding trust that Tony had broken, and translating his llama speak into English. But at Final 5, with Tasha now gone and Spencer immune, Tony's got the choice between voting for Woo, Cass, or Trish. And let's be real, a Final 3 with Woo and Cass is the dream ticket if you intend to win the game. So Woo and Tony band together to blindside Trish instead of voting out Cass, a logical, if painful, move. What makes this so brutal on Tony's part, though, is that he needlessly lied to Trish by swearing on his father's grave, which is the kind of thing a player like Trish takes really seriously. And he made her feel used, as she built all of Tony's relationships for him, and then he threw her away the second he didn't need her any longer. It all culminates at an emotional final tribal council, where Trish rips Tony a brand new spy shack. But she honors her friendship with Tony by giving him her vote, because what are you gonna do, vote for Woo? At number 9, we have Francescas Elimination in Survivor Caramoan. Franny was a curious pick for the favorites tribe, given that she was a first boot, but hey, she's still not even the least popular person on this tribe, so she's got that going for her. And I think a lot of viewers thought she had a lot more game left to play, given that her and Christina were the only people on Ometepe that identified Boston Rob as the huge threat he clearly is. Of course, it's almost impossible to imagine Francesca returning to the game, if not opposite Philip, her brief ally turned enemy turned name mispronouncer.
Francesca.
What, guys? He has a dry mouth. Things seem to be going genuinely decently for Franny on day 1 and 2 of Caramoan, as she's aligned with Andrea and Dawn, and she and Philip both seem genuinely willing to bury the hatchet. But things go sideways for her when Philip institutes the BR rules. Philip also busts out his own greatest hits, instituting Stealth R Us 2 and giving every single person on Bacall a name, except Francesca. At this point, the writing's on the wall. Perhaps drawn by the allure of cool nicknames like the Eliminator and True Grit, all of Francesca's day 1 allies flip to Philip, and Dawn and Cochran, stuck in the middle, decide to roll with Stealth R Us instead of Franny, Brendan, Eric, Brandon R Us. Cochran even talks about in confessional how bad he feels about all this, but apparently not bad enough. Francesca goes home first again, sent to Ponderosa where she presumably ate this rock.
So if I am voted off first a second time, I will eat this rock.
At number 8 is Michaela's pre-merge blindside in Millennials vs. Gen X. Less notable for the blindside itself and more for the immediate reaction following it. After the swap in Millennials vs. Gen X, Gen Xers Brett and Sunday were in a pretty tough spot. Swapped to a tribe of 6 with Millennials Michaela, Jay, Will, and Hannah. But as Michaela explains basic Survivor strategy like splitting the votes to Will and Jay, they catch a bit of big move-itis and decide to join with Brett and Sunday to blindside Michaela. The decision to vote out Michaela in and of itself isn't particularly cold-blooded, even if it is kinda pointless. Michaela had no deep connection to Will and Jay. Granted, she was a long-term threat to win, and Adam had already split up Figtails the vote prior, so the precedent was already set for the millennials to eat their own the way they eat avocado toast. But it's Jay's response to Michaela after the vote that is one of the most cold-blooded things I've ever seen on Survivor.
Michaela. That's 3 votes Michaela, 2 votes Brett, 1 vote left.
Did you do that?
Yeah. I did it.
No empathy, no compassion. Science people, I found the coldest object in the known universe, and it ain't the Boomerang Nebula. It's Jay's heart. The 7th most brutal vote-off in Survivor history is Eric in Survivor Micronesia, blindsided by the Black Widow Brigade after foolishly giving up individual immunity to Natalie. Not only is this one of the most legendarily bad moves ever, something Probst won't let Eric forget even a decade later, but it's also completely savage on the parts of Parvati, Amanda, Sari, and Natalie. At the final 5 of Survivor Micronesia, the only thing standing in the way of complete and utter Black Widow domination was this pesky ice cream scooper from Hell, Michigan, with his big hair and his cute little running shorts. He keeps winning immunity, which is kind of a problem when all the ladies want to go to the end together. When he does it again at final 5, the women are at a loss, until Sari throws out the ridiculous idea of Natalie convincing Eric to give up individual immunity to her. What? No, he wouldn't. No. Would he?
Who would fall for that?
Natalie gets to work on selling Eric some oceanfront property in Arizona, and before you know it, he's convinced himself that, yeah, this is a good idea. When he actually does give up the necklace, every single jury reaction here is so iconic. From Eliza's flabbergasted face, to Ozzy's disappointed smirk, to James's gut-busting laughter. If you want proof of Probst's consummate professionalism, he's probably the only person in the room not laughing, and I'm including camera operators and producers here. Obviously, Eric is voted out, and we don't even get the pretense of an alternate boot as we see every single vote cast at the voting urn. There are few moves in Survivor history as cold-bloodedly manipulative as this one, and the laughter from everyone, especially the Black Widows, just twists the knife even further. You can even see the almost immediate regret in Eric's face when he gives up immunity, as he realizes he's made a huge mistake. I don't know what you expected, Eric. They aren't called the Black Widow Brigade for nothing. The 6th most cold-blooded vote-off in Survivor history is Yao Man in Survivor Fiji, voted out at Final 4 after giving Dreams a truck he won as a reward. At the Final 6, the reward challenge was for a brand spankin' new Ford Super Duty, which Yao Man wins after turning out to be a surprisingly great axe thrower. Is there anything he can't do? He makes Dreams an offer he probably should have refused. He'll give Dreams the truck, and if at Final 4 they both happen to be there, and Dreams wins immunity, he'll give it to Yao. That's a lot of ifs, but a calculated risk on Yao Man's part, as Dreams was factoring into a lot of people's endgames at this point, and he was a decent challenge competitor to boot. Dreams accepts, and Jeff confirms to Yao Man that this isn't like legally enforceable or anything. He's taking Dreams at his word. But Dreams and Yao agree to the terms, and Dreams correctly realizes that winning immunity at Final 4 and being forced to either give it to Yao Man or keep it and betray him is one doozy of a pickle, so he tries to take out Yao Man at Final 6 instead. But Yao plays his idol, saves himself, and Dreams inches ever closer to having to make that tough decision. Well, at Final 4, all of Yao's terms are met. Dreams and he are both there. Dreams won immunity. This is really an impossible position for Dreams, as he has to either give up immunity where it's abundantly clear he'll get voted out, or keep immunity and make a huge and very public betrayal. Ultimately, since this is on this list, he decides to keep immunity and vote out Yowman. Yowman himself has said that he believed he'd be edited as the villain of the season for putting Dreams in such a tough spot, and actually apologized to him at Final Tribal Council. But still, Dreams voting out the guy who just gave him a truck was super controversial at the time, and remains one of the most brutal and honestly downright Shakespearean votes in Survivor history. It's like if Julius Caesar gave Brutus a pickup truck. Got nothing else for ya. To get me a truck full of views, like and subscribe, and I'll get you more Survivor content just like this. Until next time, don't get idled out.